A big fight is heating up on the global stage, and at the center of all of this is Iran's nuclear program. And now, one of Europe's strongest voices, France. France has just dropped a warning that has sent shockwaves across Tehran. Well, France has clearly told Iran, sign the nuclear deal by the end of August, or Iran has to face serious consequences. Well, they are not just talking here. France says that it will bring back full United Nations sanction on Iran if a new agreement isn't reached in time. Well, these are the same harsh sanctions that were once lifted under the famous JCPOA, a joint comprehensive plan of action, also known as the Iran nuclear deal. Remember that deal? Back in 2015, it was signed by Iran, the US, France, the UK, Germany, Russia, and China. In exchange for limits on Iran's nuclear program, the world agreed to ease the sanctions. But you know what? Things fell apart when Donald Trump pulled the United States out of that particular deal in 2018. Since then, Iran has stepped up its uranium enrichment and moved closer to nuclear weapon capabilities, causing panic across Europe, Israel, and the Arab world. Now the clock is ticking again. France, the UK, and Germany are calling the E3. They have a team that is telling Iran, this is your last chance. Either come back to the deal and agree to the strict nuclear limits, or prepare for full sanction in return. Now that means blocked bank accounts, no oil exports, frozen accounts, and total diplomatic isolation. And you know what? Iran, it's not staying silent here. Iran has responded with very sharp criticism. Tehran says that the West is acting in bad faith. Well, Iranian leaders argue that they have always been willing to negotiate, but on their own terms, not under any threat. They claim that it's Europe and the US who broke the original deal, not them. And they warn that more pressure will only put them to expand their nuclear program and not slow it down. But here's where it gets more serious. According to International Atomic Energy Agency, Iran now has enough enriched uranium to build multiple nuclear bombs if it chooses to go to that particular route. And that's what has Europe on the edge. Israel has already warned that it will never allow Iran to become a nuclear power. And military strikes are on the table if diplomacy fails. In the meantime, Russia and China, Iran's closest allies, are quietly watching. Though they are technically part of the original JCPOA, both Moscow and Beijing we are talking about are now more focused on using Iran as a strategic partner against the West. And with Ukraine war and the US-China tensions already boiling, the last thing the world needs is another nuclear crisis in the Middle East. The world is asking, what next? Well, August is the deadline. Iran has just few weeks to decide. Does it want to make a deal and avoid fresh sanctions, or risk total isolation and a possible war? Well, France's message is loud and clear. This is your final warning. And if Iran chooses to resist, the next few months could see oil prices hike, nuclear fears rise, and the Middle East plunge into yet another dangerous spiral. Because when it comes to nuclear weapons, there are no second chances.